you Hello! Hello everybody, it is I, your lovely neighborhood reindeer. Your lovely neighborhood Kendra reindeer Raindillion. Also, Ked Gamer, thank you for the follow. And earlier, now Vor, thank you for the follow earlier. Ayo, turn it down. Turn it down. Turn it down? What do you mean turn it down? I'm actually kind of confused. Hello, Kendra, more like Sandrillian. You yelling in my ear. Jesus. I have not touched my volume for like an entire year, bro. That's in your volume. Unless, hold on, let me check. Let me check my end too, just in case. Just in case. Just talking to make sure, seeing if the sound is all right. There's a lot of background noise for no reason. Hold up. Is this good? We good? Exactly, apologize. No, that sounds like a you problem. Hold up, let me... There you go. Am I good? I'm just talking to see. I turned down the volume on my end. Alright, turn down the volume again to see if maybe this is good. Less noise in the background. This sounds pretty good. Maybe unlock this, turn it down a little bit so that the music is not eclipsing me. Link to a cute indie game I'm currently playing in the Discord. Nice. Is it me side? Psst. Kendra versus Batman. Okay, that sounds way better. Looks like the old volume is no longer needed, because that's the volume I had yesterday. But it looks like the volume's getting a lot better. All right. Is it me side, Mila, or Cappy? Everyone's been obsessed with me side. And so am I. I already bought the game. I already bought the game. Laudlinot. I think he's cute. Laudlinot. Versus a Care Bear, as you should. Choose. Who? Cappy's adorable, but Mila wife. But yes, today, I hope you guys are ready for today. Now, for now, we finally did it. We finally now have a manga room. Huh? Is the volume okay? Properties. Hold up. Desktop audio. Monitor off. I can't hear it anymore. Okay, it's just turned down. Okay, there we go. We good, we good. All right. Is that music good? Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys understand me or anything? Like I said, it looks like my audio just decided to jump up a couple of volumes for no reason. So I just want to know. Oh, so you read manga? I've been told you I've read manga. I've been told you I've read manga. Explain all of One Piece. Now let's not go that far. I have not touched One Piece's manga in like a year, which is funny because I actually remember reading the anime. Turn that down, man. Turn that down completely. All right. But yeah. But nah, I mostly read like stuff that reading the anime. Yeah, subtitles. Fake fan. Subtitles, you would know that if you are a sub versus dub fan. Hold on one quick second. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry, I had to leave real quick to deal with the toy situation, since as much as I do not mind the toys in the background, playing them all at once is a different thing entirely. But yeah, no, I hope you guys are happy and doing good for the day, because today we're going to be doing Kendra Dearlian. Hello, Kenderlian. Hello. Completely butchered back. Hello, Kendra Craft. Hello, Papa Roland. But hello, Papa Roland. It's been a bit, dude. It's been a bit. Hi, Kuma. But yes, today, for those that were not here for the 1.5 update, for the you would know we now have a manga room. So now we can read whenever we want and do kind of like a thing. I don't know, manga thing. So originally we were gonna do the first 20 chapters until I realized that K-Manga, the site I read it on, actually just divided up like 10 chapters near the end, and it's like 5 chapters and then a bunch of half chapters. Mangle those mangas. Can we read One Piece? To be honest, I actually do want to read One Piece. I do want to read One Piece in the future, but the thing is with One Piece, that would have to be like a slow build-up. We cannot do like 10 chapters a piece with that. Actually, technically we can. That would be the fastest route. Is One Piece done or is it still ongoing? The day One Piece ends, you will... Here's the thing. If One Piece is not over... Should I put this? Listen to me. You will know One Piece is over. You will know. You're never gonna ever have to ask that question if One Piece is over. It's on the final arc. Yeah. So I'll see you at chapter 102,000 million for the final arc. Gosh. Kendra, what is that front page? What front page? What front page? Also, actually no, I told everybody yesterday, I resized the text to make sure that it was okay looking. I couldn't believe Sailor Moon was over when it was. Now it seems kind of short at only 200 episodes. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense when you say it like that. Also, I'm gonna check the room right here. Does it look good? Does the text look good? 1.5 bold. Just checking everything, making sure it's all right. We good? Yep. So that means this will be good for clipping at anything. I just always want to make sure about the text size. I feel like One Piece will never end because that show doesn't have an end. I mean, One Piece is not going to be over just because the show is over. It's over when either A, Oda dies, or B, Oda finishes. And quite literally, everyone would want B to be the most common thing to happen. Room's looking good. Sound is sounding good. All right, so that's good. So for those that don't know, the last time we did a manga room, we did not have a room. And we just did a back and forth, me just pulling up a bunch of pictures at once, because last time we did Firefly Wedding, and I actually want to continue Firefly Wedding one of these days because it's actually a really good manga, and I have actually continued some of it off screen, and it's like getting really good. I love the development between everybody and all the characters except for one character, but that's because he's the childhood best friend character, but not the good type of childhood best friend character you want to root for. Firefly, what? Oh, that's right, you weren't here, Mirai. So a long time ago, this is one of the reasons why the manga room became a thing. So back then, earlier into my streaming career, I had gone into the manga Firefly Wedding. It is a shoujo. It is really, really, really good. Hello, Drop the Baton. What is it? It's like, it was a really good shoujo. I highly recommend it. But at that time, all I did was just pull up a bunch of pictures on OBS and shoddily explain everything to the best of my abilities while trying to make sure that all the images don't cover each other on the page. But now, because of that, I was like, all right, I need a professional manga room so that when we do talk about manga, it's a dedicated space and like just a dedicated thing. And I really wanted to do this because I know X also said he wanted to do this as well, but I also really wanted to do this even of my own volition. So I spent like half a year cleaning this up, but I was not satisfied with it, which is why we did not go forth with the manga room at the time. However, now, not only is this manga room good, but I'm going to make a 2.0 manga room that will be up to par with my vision. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to learn pixel art, and pixel art looks to be actually a lot more complicated than I thought. Hey, it Drop the Baton in how's it going? We're doing pretty good. We're just explaining why the manga room exists. Also, I put the manga room to the side at one point because I wanted to make these smoke clouds that I'm really proud of making. I wanted to make these move and disappear. I wanted these to like move and disappear because if you kind of can see a little bit of my inspiration, a lot of the manga room is inspired by the manga Holic. Which also, listen, Holic came back. I need to start reading Holic, and this is like the perfect opportunity, guys. Pixel art, my beloved. No, for real. No, but I mean it. I'm super excited. I'm super excited. But yes, today we will be talking about My Girlfriend's Child, a manga pretty much talking about teen pregnancy. And if you want to follow along, because I have the manga to the side if I need to reiterate some more points, you can go to the description below on YouTube side and you can follow along. The first 20 chapters are free. And so, here we go. Guys, it's a good manga. I gotta say it like that. It's a really good manga. I was not having any hope for this because I'm like, oh, it's gonna be melodramatic pixel art. Like, what is it? I kind of didn't have any hope for it, but at the same time, when I got into it, I really got into it. And so what it is that it's basically, if we can continue forward. I've read about this manga and I never liked it. Dang. What is it? I like it because it so what I like about this manga, oh crap. I didn't know that it would kind of mess up the paneling a little bit, but you know, that's just how it be a little bit. I like it because it handles a lot of the topics really maturely. There are some characters I like, some characters I don't like so far in the first 10 chapters, and I really like it. I gotta wonder if Japan is still trying to raise their birth rate through their entertainment industry, at least some of it. Let's be real here. We gotta get the otakus breeding somehow. Your boy is too sensible to watch a very situation manga. A very real situation manga. I like it because it gives you an insight to what it might be like though. Obviously a lot of it is dramatic. reading. Well, that reminds me of a panel that happened at one point. Gosh. So pretty much, what is it? So I have all the slides dedicated to each chapter. The first chapter is Omen, and I had to cut some lines that I wanted to do for the jokes I wanted to make, because I'm gonna make them off screen. I want to make them on stream instead of on the panels. The title Omen means that things are about to go down. But yes, the main characters are Sachi and Takara, and of course, like any manga about the teen pregnancy, it is about Sachi and Takara. They sexed, and then pregnancy test, boom, we got pregnant. The thing is though, I think what's funny is, so the thing with K-manga that is one thing that Omen translators know. Omen means things are about to go down. What is it? There's a lot of, there's like a lot of symbolism with Nora, the neighborhood cat, because that's how the first chapter is introduced, with Nora, the neighborhood cat, disappearing and stuff. And in the snow, and of course it transitioned to the segs. But really, one thing I actually really liked is that it's handled very maturely. The thing is though, is unfortunately it looks like the manga can't handle it maturely, at least on K-manga, because they literally censor all the nudity scenes. They censored all of it, and it's like literally looking at two people do it in a box. And I'm not even kidding, that's literally what I tweeted out. It's literally like a bunch of people just doing it in a box. Oh my gosh. But yes, pretty much near the end of the chapter, if I can like go over it a little bit, things that like stood out to me in this chapter. Number one, the art is actually very beautiful. I really love the art. It's like, it looks familiar, but at the same time, what is it? It reminds me of Honey Lemon Soda, which I need to actually get into that too. I really like the art style of Honey Lemon Soda, and I heard the manga finally got adapted into an anime, and the opening sounds amazing. Bye, Sonic! And the one thing, like my first impressions of the characters, I really like Takara, mostly because it's like, how should I put this? You know how like there's like that Boy Scout type character? No, is in my K-manga. That looks perfect. No, for real. K-manga's kind of had that reputation. The only reason why I read it on K-manga was because it was available for free, because I think if I remember correctly, you do have to continue to pay when you use K-manga. But the thing is like, everyone made fun of them because they're like, literally most manga is geared towards older teens to adults. You think nobody can handle like some panties, bro? And they will censor a manga that has never been censored for years. That's my thing. Like, I think if I remember correctly, they censored a couple of fan service series. Full Metal Alchemist, if I remember correctly. I want to believe that, if I remember correctly. That's why K-manga has its own reputation. But what I was saying was, I like Takara because he's like, okay, so there's my thing that everyone like talks about it. Everyone doesn't like the Boy Scout trope. I like that trope when it's done really well. And in this situation, I feel like this is where it like applies best. Jose E says, yeah, I hate that. But pretty much, Takara, I really like Takara. He's just pretty sweet, and he's pretty much just straightforward about what he is. The real meat of the story really comes from Sachi, because, of course, the censorship, I mean, no, I understand. I totally get that. What is it? The real meat of the story comes from Sachi, because it's just a really neat perspective to look through, because, like, at the end of the day, it is about Sachi. And the thing is that when I read this story, I was gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be a boring story about a girl who struggles through teen pregnancy. But what I really like is the fact that it kind of breaks down her thoughts to someone who is genuinely a normal teenager. Because I can't relate to Sachi, like, because number one, I'm not a teen parent, but also because my thoughts were a lot more kind of more developed as in my teen years. So seeing somebody from the perspective of like someone who, let's be real here, is just a normal teenage girl is just really interesting. And so what ends up happening later in the story is that you just kind of see their slice of life that I really like. Everyone like talks about like the slow start. It's also really good. Also, hi Kendra, almost forgot to say my hello. Hello Jose, hello, thank you. I got the jug of water. You just kind of get that slow start, everyone's relationship towards each other. You meet Sachi, you meet Takara, you meet Sachi's brother. I hate Sachi's brother. And you meet her mom, and her mom is really, really genuinely sweet. And that's what I really like. It's just going over how her brother's in college, how Takara is like really favored by her mom and her brother. You don't find out until a little later into the story that their dad is overseas, and that Takara does not have a dad due to divorce. But it's the fact that they're still finding happiness in the small things that they do that I really, really like. And the thing is that sometime in this middle of the story, Sachi is kind of exhausted a little bit. It's time for the catalyst. It's time for the catalyst. Speaking of honey lemon soda, Sachi gets a candy of honey lemon. Of the honey lemon variety. And so she ends up going to the school nurse and is like, little girl, you're tired, rest up and then head back to class. And you know, Sachi's kind of struggling a little bit because she's like tired and just struggling on the train more often than usual from all the shaking and all that type of stuff. And so fast forward to the end of the story, because I'm like trying to go kind of blitz through the manga since I already read it. She goes around to try and look for Nora, and Nora unfortunately has died in the snow. Nora has died within the snow. It is a sad thing. Cat death is a sad thing. Sorry, cat death. Which is why I was saying there's actually a lot of symbolism with the disappearance of Nora, and really cats in general, in the first 10 chapters, because cats come and go, but they're also really like the, you know, like the connection some people have with pets and like pets and babies, where they're not one-to-one, but if you can take care of a pet properly, it makes sense that you could probably take care of a baby properly, because it means you know how to take responsibility. And if you're not careful, either one could get hurt or seriously damaged, or even far worse. So when Sachi found out that Nora died, she just doesn't know what to do. Not gonna lie. What? Pets are little fuzzy babies. No, for real. I love pets. I have a couple of my own. Not gonna lie. What? What is it? Had a crush on Kendra-sama for months. You see that right there? Crush your balls. So, of course, Sachi being upset since she was trying to find Nora in the snow so that Nora wouldn't get hurt, she's kind of speculating a little bit that how she's feeling might be related to a little thing called pregnancy. So she goes in, gets, a pregnancy test. I don't know why I couldn't say that for a while. You see that right there? You're using the new Twitch emoji. Cringe. We gotta take care of them as diligently as our human children. Possibly more so, since our animal babies will stay dependent on us for their whole lives. No, for real. That actually makes a whole lot of sense, and you say it just right, cumulative. So Sachi pretty much, she goes and she realizes obviously that like her food and taste buds are changing, and so she goes to a local diner. She goes and grabs a drink, heads to the bathroom, and of course the finishing blow comes. She's pregnant, and the test is indeed very positive. End of chapter 1. It is indeed an indeedy thing. Pretty much, what is it? Pretty much, that's the end of chapter 1. It's just the build up to the pregnancy. And it, you know, like obviously that's a big blow. And I think again, the art is really stunning because it doesn't use like super exaggerated stuff. It just reverts inverts her eyes. A lot of Sachi's reaction comes from the inversion of her eyes, depending on the situation, because it's like, it's just subtle things that like the inversion of her eyes gives off a feeling of paleness, like she is now pale and shook up in her body. What does inverting the eyes look like? So when I mean inverting the eyes, so throughout the manga, if you can see on like the if you can see right here with Sachi's like expression right here on the slide right here, her eyes are black with the downward parts being gray, but then when her feelings are really expressed, they white out, like the whites become black and vice versa. Pretty much, yes, yeah. Also, I should have mentioned, this is Sachi and this is Takara. And it's really, really interesting. It's just really subtle, small things like that that make like small, like, what is it? It's small things like that that really show her character. It shows that her reactions, although subtle, are very impactful. Because she's like an expressive person, but certain things that shake her subtly. And like in a calm way. You know what I mean? So let's head to a chapter 2. For she has become preggo. Oh my gosh. Let's see. There we go. So, Sachi comes out of the bathroom. And of course, she freaks out because number one, she might be pregnant, and that's not good because she's 16. Not even 16, I think, maybe 16, 18. I don't think they specify the age other than the fact that they are near their last year of high school. What is it? She becomes preggo, the brand of spaghetti sauce. Preggo. But yeah, she pretty much freaks out the entire time. And it's like how should I put this? There's this sense of real, how do I even put this? It's really good because even though you have not experienced pregnancy, even if you've never experienced it in your life, you know the feeling of when things go down in your spirit and in your body, where it's like, oh crap, this is not what I wanted, and this is a different breed of fear. You know what I mean? And I think that's really portrayed with the first couple of pages because, again, it's like a very serious thing. However, that is slightly interrupted a bit because Sachi realizes that she did all of this and realized that she did not have enough money to pay for the one drink that she bought. That's a tragic thing, you know. Sometimes you just don't have enough to drink. So she has to call her brother because she wanted to skip, but she can't. But in the meantime, before her brother comes to bail her out of this financial situation, she Googles pregnancy symptoms, pregnancy tests, hoping that maybe it could have been a failure. Because sometimes, for those that don't know, in women, sometimes a pregnancy can trigger a false positive, or it can trigger sometimes your body can like have symptoms of pregnancy and then you not actually be pregnant for real. So it's like a thing that can happen sometimes, but it's like really specific times for that stuff to like happen, you know. And so she's just kind of freaking out until her brother shows up. Because here's the thing. Sachi is in full awareness. I feel like abortions have a time limit or something. Pretty much. Pregnancy test technology is still relatively new. Yep. Yeah. What is it? So new and so good, in fact. Hey, listen, guys, if you think you got testicular cancer, go get a pregnancy stick. Those are proven to actually help you. I laugh, but no, for real though. You never know. You never know. And so, as Sachi is debating on if she may or may not be pregnant, for the meantime, her brother shows up. I'm just gonna say this ahead of time. I hate Sachi's brother because he's that. Okay, how should I put this? Sachi's brother, because I was gonna save this for later, but no. Sachi's brother is literally what I thought the manga would have been like from the get-go. Because the one thing I hate about characters like Sachi's brother is the fact that, and this goes for a lot of specific type of media too, I don't like stories where there's not nuance to situations. Where, how should I put this? So, oh, also, hello Mirai. I'm just explaining one of my least favorite archetypes in media. So, I'm going to explain this to you in like the most basic way possible. So, a long time ago, I read this story, and it was basically this kind of love triangle, love square between 4 people. And one of them was the MC and his sister, not incest. And what ended up happening was that the sister came out as gay. Now the thing is that I did not like the sister because she seemed one note. And I was hoping that the rest of the characters would not be that way, especially since the brother was portrayed as like the sister always gets her way and is always mean and hurtful and treats him poorly. And I kind of dropped the story because they treated the sister that way, and when the dad ended up coming out about it, he freaked out and flipped, and he did everything that you would expect something like that to come out. And the mom cowered and did all this. Basically, there's nuance to a situation, and if you don't portray the nuances to situations, for me personally, I will drop it and I will not read it because it shows that the author is not really looking for nuance. Not everything needs nuance, but there are certain situations and certain types of things in media where it's like, you gotta have nuance because these are like quote unquote, or they are sensitive topics or things that can happen in real life. You know what I mean? You think I can win Kendra's heart, Mirai? Like that's ever gonna happen. But yes, getting back on topic because I went all over the place. Pretty much Sachi freaks out and her brother comes to bail her out, and she actually debates on telling him, but she kind of muddles and muddies around. But he is perceptive and clearly sees that Sachi is going through it. That's the one thing I do like, is that even though there are some aspects I hate about the brother, it's the fact that he's older, he's a college student, he can see better than his sister. You know what I mean? Now Sarkim, she just realized I'm a great guy. When did that happen? In an alternate dimension? And so she, instead of telling her brother about the pregnancy, she then instead tells him about Nora dying. And of course, it's like a sad thing because, you know, for Sachi it means something, but for her brother it's like, oh, it's a cat. And that's a sad thing, but not as sad as it would be for Sachi. Something woman moment. And so he kind of brushes her off her concern about the fact that, you know, the cat died. I've been following. That's the only reason I was here. Have a great life, Kuma the bear. Something flip. Oh my gosh. And so the thing was though is that despite the fact that Sachi only called her brother, he also invited Takura to come with him. And it makes this situation a little awkward because guess who's the pregnant one here? And guess who's not pregnant? Guess who's pregnant and who's the father? Am I right? And this is one of the reasons that can make Takura like shine a little bit is the fact that he does genuinely care about Sachi. And even though he does not know, Kuma! It is a heart-wrenching scene to partake in, but Kuma, it is a sad thing to go. Hasta la vista, muchachos. But yes, basically, even though Takura, because she is not told Takura by this point, obviously, she is not the one for you, man. Do you really want? Don't ever say muchachos again, muchachos. Never, muchachos. So anyway, Takura comes and comforts Sachi even though he has not told her that she is pregnant because Takura is a good Boy Scout and says, Sachi, everything's gonna be okay. But the thing is, with the symbolism of Nora, for Sachi, everything is not okay because, well, she's not the one that's pregnant. And you see, the brother doesn't care that Sachi is hugging Takura because, you know, stuff. My Grings VTuber is saying things in Spanish. No, my gringa. Hola! ¿Cómo está English? Of course he tells her that he's gonna be okay. But the thing is though, is obviously, like I said, Sachi's not okay because again, she hasn't told him about the pregnancy. That being said though, despite the fact that he is comforting her that the situation might be okay, Sachi actually kind of freaks out a little bit because as Takura is comforting her by the train station, she ends up getting up immediately and going to her and realizing that her period has begun. No habla inglés, señor. Now, for those that do not know, periods are kind of weird because it's not just you can time a period. It's always moving, it's always shifting, and sometimes some days will be longer. For a lot of women, periods can last up to 8 days or 2 weeks, or for some women, the rare occurrence is either 1 day or never at all, or it'll never stop at all. So when you're pregnant and you get your period, when you're pregnant and you get your period completely stops. I heard that there were some apps that help track periods. There are actually some apps that can help track periods, but they also need your input. And if you're not regularly inputting when your period will start, it won't properly track it. But there are apps that do that, and they are accurate depending on the information you give them. The thing is, though, is when you're pregnant, your period stops completely and becomes irregular. And in Sachi's case, her period came despite the fact that she was supposedly pregnant. So, it looks like Sachi is actually not pregnant. And so, the torment of the story is actually about Sachi realizing what it would be like if she actually was pregnant. But I'm lying to you. I'm lying to you because there wouldn't be a story. There wouldn't be a story if that was the case. So heading on to chapter 3, responsibility. So the thing is basically, and here's the thing, this happens to women just because sometimes that's how the body is. Sometimes it's not just induced trauma. What is it? Sometimes it's not like self-induced trauma. Sometimes the body will react weirdly and it'll sometimes abort the baby anyway, even though you were not, trying to abort the baby. It's just a thing that can happen. That's why you will hear stories about how for some pregnant women, they'll be so happy about the baby and then they'll have to be immediately rushed to the hospital because the body decided to reject the baby anyway. And that's why pregnancy is a hard thing, because it's about either keeping or not keeping the baby, if the body can handle having the baby, and of course the delivery of the baby and all that type of stuff. So pretty much she comes in and really believes that she has a miscarriage because her period comes anyway. If your period comes, it means you're not pregnant. And so the thing is despite the fact that Sachi is looking and Googling and looking and Googling and Googling and Googling and googly moogly and googly. Despite the fact that Sachi is Googling about pregnancy, she's thinking, good, I have had my period. It means that I'm not pregnant. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Let me see, because I had to scroll through these and I gotta scroll through some of these chapters and back again. Googling, Yahooing, asking Jeeves. No, for real. So pretty much she believes she has a miscarriage and she still does a little bit of final research. She still does a little bit of final researching to make sure that, number 1, she has miscarried, and 2, if the abortion is even needed in the first place, or if they even need a checkup, because again, you never know. You never know. Now here's the thing. Her brother decided to surprise her. And her and Takura are about to go driving downtown. Because the brother was like, hey, so I noticed your phone was talking about pregnancy. You've been having sex, haven't you? And so Sachi is like, hold up. Number 1, how did you know? Were you looking at my phone? And Takura is freaking out a little bit because he's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean pregnant? Because Takura is a Boy Scout. Takura is a Boy Scout. He's a little Boy Scout boy over here being like, what, pregnancy? What pregnancy? You're pregnant? And of course the brother's freaking out because he's like, I can't believe my little sister is pregnant. This was one of the reasons why I didn't like the brother because, like I said, he represents the archetype. You've been doing it, haven't you? I'd be like, if you're gonna word it like that, then you shouldn't even be asking. No, for real. Like, he drives them to the hospital. My thing with it is I don't like the brother, because this is one of the signs where I was kind of like, all right, I don't think I'm gonna like your character a lot, because even though narratively it makes sense since he is supposed to be her older brother and he is scared for her, I don't like him because he just does stuff. He does stuff. You have not seen, like this, you'd be like, okay, hold up. It's rational a little bit, Kendra. Yes, he drove them down to the hospital, but it can't be worse than that. It gets worse than that. Trust me. He starts way too much conflict a little bit within these short 10 chapters. Oh my gosh. So pretty much, Sachi then tells him, hey, I'm not pregnant. I've just had my period. So, no, I'm not pregnant. And the brother, he drives away and is like, hey, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna get some air. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. It's my fault. I shouldn't have accused you. And Takura is like, hey, Sachi, I love you, and you love me. And this is actually a kind of a scary situation. So we're probably gonna have to not have sex for a while. So, at least until after high school, so that we can all figure out our life together. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that alone. Alright? Because she then actually confirms to him that even though she might have miscarried, there's like a 99.99% chance that she's still pregnant anyway, because her period immediately stopped after the comforting from the previous night. In a manga, if a brother-sister is concerned about their siblings' love life, sex life, then I'm immediately suspicious that it's going to turn into an incesty story. Really? I don't know. I've seen a lot of anime, and usually that's not the case. Usually they just give the sibling a condom. Okay, I'm back. Hey, Kuma! How many double backflips did you do? Do you want Habsburg jaw of Japan? Because that's how you get Habsburg jaw in your population. Habsburg? What the heck is that? Habsburg. Habsburg jaw. Not the jawline. Not the incest jawline. To be really, no, I've already explained it already. Mostly personally to me, I don't know. I've never really ran into that many incesty stories. When I was an anime fan, I had to like seek it out. And even then I stuck it out of ignorance because I was more used to harem. There's a famous historical family that basically inbred themselves to extinction, the Habsburgs. I told Kendra my true feelings and she is trying it as a joke. She's not the person I thought she was. You're right. I'm actually a wizard. My powers are to make you make you as unattractive as possible, even to my own eyes, because nobody on this earth is attractive. You're all skiddly wags. That's wizard talk. But pretty much, Takara says basically, I'm sorry you can't be a wizard, you're black. Don't worry, the black wizards are just in hiding. We're on a different continent. People always talk about the wizards of the European faction, but never talk about the black faction because we're more unknown new territory. We'll be there. We'll be there. You just haven't noticed us yet. Cringe. You see that right there? Only wizard victims say cringe. If you're a wizard, then I ship you with Waltito, the floof wizard. Waltito? Straight up sounds like something VeggieTales would have faked up. Fake made up. Waltito. Yo! Super cute cat. So pretty much, Takara says no segs, no more segs until after high school because he loves Sachi and they're never gonna give up. Which pretty much just simplified that he just proposed to her and she was like, oh, this is a weird way to get proposed to, but hey, I still love you, dude. He legit looks like a floof triangle in cat form. I looked him up and he is indeed the adorable Waltito. So, carrying onwards, we will do chapter 4, conflict. Because guess what? Sachi is still pregnant. Because the test was indeed positive. And again, Takara apologizes to Sachi for she should not have gone through such misery all alone, such worry and fear. Because even though Takara keeps trying to, you know, comfort her and be like, hey, it's gonna be alright, she's like, listen, bro, your bohemian rhapsody power of friendship speech is not going to work here. Because unlike a friendship speech, I'm pregnant. And a pregnancy can't go away. Not by normal means. And so she freaks out at him about it, and of course her brother comes in and interrupts her, being like, sorry, I misunderstood the situation. I'm sorry. Sachi, I'm gonna send you home, and Takara, I'm sorry for dragging you along. What is it? Takara is really making himself out to be a nuisance. I want to know why, like, dude, you're about to be an uncle, maybe trying to be a good one at least. Takara? Just jump. Wait, Takara uncle? Takara is the boyfriend. The brother, I have not named the brother. I have not named the brother because I thought it wasn't worth remembering his name. Because I don't like him. Oh, I thought Takara was the brother. No. Takara is the boyfriend. He is the boyfriend right here on screen. He's the one saying, I'm sorry you had to go through this alone. I'll just call the brother bad uncle then. Yeah, that sounds about right. And you can call him that because he is a bad uncle. Because again, this situation right here was just one of many where I was like, oh, I'm just not gonna like your character, okay? Okay. Yay! Hi. Hello, Mississippi. We're talking about My Girlfriend's Child, the manga. It actually got a live action adaptation if you guys don't know. But pretty much, you know, probably I think it followed the manga, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't finished the manga yet. Or watched the live action. But it got a live action. I mean, a story like this was bound to get a live action. There are some live actions out there where it's like, yeah, you're gonna get a live action no matter what, you know? You know what I mean? Like, just a normal, serious slice of life is bound to get a bigger, better live action than, say, Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball is too fantastical. But pretty much, the brother apologizes and is like, sorry, I shouldn't have done all this. I shouldn't have tricked you into getting into my car and driving you down to the hospital and then freaking you out like that and thinking about you probably having a sex life and, you know, that's kind of a thing that I was not prepared for, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna take you back home. And Sachi, of course, as soon as they get back home, the following day, her and Takara plan that, listen, we gotta split off for the day and I'll see you at school. And of course, Sachi goes to her school, but actually she ended up splitting from him and went off on her own to get checked up for if she is pregnant or not. Because originally Takara was saying, why don't we go together so you don't have to do this alone? But Sachi was conflicted because she's like, I don't hate you, bro. But like, this is, I don't really want you to be responsible, because that's a thing that happens sometimes when the girl is pregnant in the situation. A lot of the times, it's a lot of a mental toll. It's a really big mental toll. And because when you think of pregnancy, you only think about the stomach, but when you really learn about it, it's emotions, but not the usual, like, I'm scared emotions. It's your hormones immediately start to change, and what felt like a small thing originally is now an even bigger thing. And that is on top of then having to tell someone if you were getting pregnant on accident. You know what I mean? So she goes off on her own to get a pregnancy test. Any cravings for ice cream with pickles? No, but she did have a light soda near the beginning of the story. Gosh, that's actually one thing I'm worried about when I eventually have a baby. The fact that I might be into some really weird food cravings. Or in some people's cases, apparently they get cravings for non-food items, and that's its own struggle that I would totally not want to deal with. Because unlike a food craving where you can work that off and eventually still yourself with food, a non-food craving is a whole other beast that requires severe amounts of therapy. And so she goes to the hospital and she checks the abort box, because Sachi, the one thing I did not tell you guys from the beginning, or I did kind of loosely touch on, is the fact that really pretty much immediately when this all happens, Sachi is immediately like, let's abort the baby. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. She's just like, let's abort the baby. Okay, today. We'll abort the baby today and act like nothing ever happened. Okay? Okay? However, in this next upcoming chapter, we're gonna see that there's pretty much a little problem in that plan. Just a little problem in that plan. Heartbeat. So, telling by the manga panels, you already see where this is going. The baby is indeed very, very real. She is indeed pregnant. She did not miscarry. It was just an irregular period. And the doctors, as soon as she goes in to check the boxes and goes through all the procedures, pretty much the first half of this chapter is split in two. And it goes over the procedures of how to get an ultrasound and see if you're pregnant. And the conflict of what happens for the rest of the story continues. And in Sachi's case, she's freaked out because the ultrasound machine is an ultrasound machine. It's big, it's clunky. Yay! And so she then ends up seeing the baby for the very first time. Now the thing is that there's this phrase that keeps repeating after here, that'll show up later also in the slides, called 15 milliliters. That is how big the baby is currently, because it is not ready to be aborted, but again, it's still in between the time of should I keep it, between the decision time of should she keep it or should she abort it. And so that's pretty much what the rest of these chapters are going to be now, of should she keep it, should she abort it, what is the decision. And so Sachi looks at the baby for the first time and is like, do I want to abort baby? Do I want to abort baby? Because it seems a little 15 milliliters. And I think the one thing I really like about this chapter is I like the fact that the doctor is just, she's nice and she's non-judgmental, but you could also tell that she's trying to, it's like a job to her. But it's like, how should I put this? If I can go to her expressions on my side of the screen. The doctor is kind because it's like she understands the job because she's been delivering babies for so long. She obviously, for her, it's clearly not her first teen client, And she also knows how to be like, hey, is your boyfriend or the person you're with, are they abusive towards you? Even though you want to get an abortion, do you do realize that because you are a minor, you have to get your parents' permission? So this isn't a case of, you can just quietly let this go and continue. No, you gotta get, you gotta tell your parents. That's inevitable. And she's scared about that. Sachi is very scared about that. But pretty much, even though she signed the boxes, she's having second thoughts, and the doctor is saying in between this time, despite the fact that you want the abortion, you can't. So take this time to really think about if you really want to abort the baby. Chapter 5, abort bat. Chapter 6, no abort bat. Chapter 7, abort bat. Chapter 8, abort bat. Not abort bat. I cried. I'm feeling better. Aye, soldier. That's how it be. Alright, and this is the second half of the chapters and stuff. And go to Heartbeat Continued. And so, pretty much, like I said, here's what the doctor goes over. Having completed the test, the doctor talks with Sachi about 4 things. When she got pregnant, that's actually the one thing. She talks with Sachi and is like, hey, so here is the time of when you got pregnant, which was 3 weeks after her period. Actually, no, 2 weeks after her period. So pretty much she had her period, then her body regulated, and then she unfortunately had the segs. My goal is to confuse Kendra on if I'm serious or not. Don't worry, bro. I'm taking it as very little seriously as possible. You did get me though last stream though. I was like, wait a minute. No, he's not serious. He said so last time. And it's funny. But pretty much it basically says you have your period. Because for those that do not know, I don't remember what I said. Neither do I. Yeah. Basically, so how a cycle goes. So I call my period a cycle because that's how I grew up. But basically, how so for those that do not know, a period is not just you bleeding. And like, what is it? A period is not just you bleeding out blood, obviously. It is the shedding of the inner walls of your body. Like for women, is the shedding of the inner walls of the body so that your body can be fresh for when the baby is born. But of course, because you're not pregnant, it's gonna happen over and over and over and over again until you become pregnant. And so once the period is over, then your body re-regulates itself, and then you'll be in a week of fertilization. If I'm saying it, it starts on the first day, and the day you got your period, your last period would be week 0, even though pregnancy hasn't occurred yet. That counts as the first day. About 2 weeks after the first day of your period, you ovulate. You must have had intercourse and had the date. Pretty much. So basically, period, a week of period, your period stops, and then there you go. There's your segs. Sounds about how I had learned it. Yeah, pretty much. It's like a whole thing. People just think, that's why people are shocked, when people don't really know about period, they think, oh, can't you just stop it? No, your literal insides are being stripped away. It's like when your skin sheds, despite the fact that you take as many baths as possible. Even though you take as many baths as possible to stop dirt and stuff from accumulating, you're not gonna ever account for the fact that your skin sheds naturally from your body as you get older. That kind of thing. You're never gonna prevent it. Like aging. You're never gonna prevent aging. Other than when on the period, of course. Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to get pregnant, then having sex every day is fine, right? Pretty much. I know there's some people out there that apparently like having sex despite the fact that their wife is on their cycle. I know about this. I'm cursed with this knowledge, and I'm cursing you with this knowledge too. There are men who like to do that. It's weird. It's probably up there with people who like NTR. Gosh. But pretty much, Sachi, after going through all these steps, she talks about when she got pregnant, and she's given the information on the abortion process. She's then also given the unfortunate revelation that she will have to tell her parents before the abortion can go through. And of course, the price of the abortion. I'd really want to be in the shower or something, easy cleanup and all. Ain't that the truth? What is it? And so, of course, as I stated earlier, Sachi, the doctor, is like, so you can tell your parents, right? Unless they're like abusive, or the person who hurts you, the person you're with hurts you, and stuff like that. I went away for a second and avoid your curse. There are men who like to have intercourse with their wives while they're on their cycle. So anyway, pretty much, after Sachi gets her test and stuff like that, she ends up meeting up again with Takara, who, apparently for him, he actually went and did like a whole ton of research on his own about pregnancy, because he's a good little Boy Scout. He's a good little Boy Scout. He's a good little Boy Scout boy, who ends up pretty much telling everything that I told you and everything that the doctor told Sachi. And Sachi kinda actually is upset by this news, not because Takara isn't taking responsibility, and not even for the fact that the doctor and the price and everything. It is the fact that everyone has this information and knows what to do moving forward but her. Because again, like, Takara is ready. He's like, listen, if we're gonna have the baby, we're gonna have the baby. If we're not gonna have the baby, we're not gonna have the baby. And I'm okay with all of what you're saying. And you know what? Here's also this thing called special adoption, where you might want to have the baby, but you want to give it to a parent because that parent wants to have the baby. You know, that type of stuff. And so Sachi is distraught. Because why is everyone prepared and not her? It is a really big struggle. Keep in mind, this is now on top of now having a baby. Listen, like they say, having a baby is a lot of work and money, but it's mostly work. The information is plentiful and very, very tough. So, Sachi confesses to Takara that, get this, she went without him, obviously. Like I said earlier, she ends up beelining, instead of going to her school, she ends up beelining and going to the clinic, one town over, so that nobody would know her. And of course, she ends up telling him, and she's like, you said everything that the doctor told me, and I'm scared, and even though I want to have the baby, I don't want to have the baby because I went to the doctor and I heard its heartbeat, and now I'm confused on if I should or I should not have the baby. And so they retreat to Takara's house, and Takara pretty much goes over the plan, because he's like, there's no way our parents won't let us at least have a decision in the matter. Keep that very pinned, scorching hot in your eyes, that statement. And Sachi throws up. Just wanted to throw that in there. Morning sickness. Oh yeah, so instead of having your period, which is already a painful month-to-month thing where you're collapsed and bedridden, instead your period disappears for a couple of months. Instead, it is replaced with morning sickness, bloating, the fact that the baby will eat all of your nutrients, and your hair and your nails and everything about you will fall apart. Nobody tells you about this. I'm telling you about this. This is all the stuff I learned when I was being educated, because I am a woman. Oh my gosh. But pretty much she's confused and he's confused because they don't know what to do. It's interesting. It's good. It's interesting good. It's a pretty short half chapter, but we must move over to the second half of the chapter because guess what? There's some shocking news here. Now you're probably wondering, what's in this image, Kendra? Who do you think is picking up this picture? In fact, there's actually one thing I actually forgot to mention a while ago. So when Sachi went to the doctor and ended up finishing up her checkup, the doctor gave her a picture of the ultrasound to think over her decision. We'll put a pin in that too. So what ends up happening is that throughout the entire conversation, Sachi and Takara, they're talking and the time gets late, and Sachi's mom ended up texting and calling and was like worried and was like, where are you? And they don't pick up the line because she ends up texting and is like, oh, you're at Takara's house. Parents? Oh yeah, no. Here's the thing. So, like I mentioned earlier in the story, and you don't find this out until a couple chapters later, Sachi's mom, Sachi is not a single mom, but their dad is overseas on Sachi's side of the family, and her brother is in college. However, with Takara, his mom is a working mom, and his dad split with his mom for divorce, leaving the house empty and of course segs. So when they end up going back to Takara's house, there's just kind of a countdown timer to when Takara's mom comes home, and if and when they're going to tell their parents, because of course, Takara's all for it, but Sachi is still a little confused if they want to keep or not keep the baby. However, there's one small issue that happened. It looks like their plan is a little bit rushed, because as you can see, this is not Takara or Sachi's hand on screen. Because originally Takara's mom said that she was coming home late. But of course, in these types of stories, that's never the case, ain't it? Parents? Oh no, this is going down. I heard about some abortion clinics are manipulative like that, making you jump through emotional hoops and calling yourself an evil demon before they'll let you go through with the abortion. There are some like that. It's always like a double sword with it, because on the one hand, it's like it's the woman and her choice, and then there's everyone around her that's like, you should keep the baby because the baby deserves to live, or you should kill the baby, or not even really kill the baby. It's like, you should not have the baby, if you believe, what is it? For me, I'm pro-choice. And really, I wouldn't even say I'm pro-choice with it. I'm just like, it's your decision. It's your life. Live your life. Make your decisions. Sometimes they're not the best decision. Sometimes they're the absolute greatest decision. But at the end of the day, it's your life. And you've got to live with the consequences no matter what you choose. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, treating the fetus like it's already a living, breathing human with a career and a future. Pretty much. And the thing is, it's all depends. And here's the thing, if you believe that the baby is alive, you believe that the baby is alive. If you believe, I personally believe that the babies are alive, but I also understand that, listen, a baby is a huge responsibility at the end of the day, because it's not let the baby be born, it's then they've got to live. There are parents nowadays that can't even manage to stay alive long enough to see their children go to adulthood, whether it be through their own actions of being negligent, or things out of their control, like just a sudden drop of death or anything. Things happen. Stuff like that happens. And so now imagine that being a teenager. That's quadruple the responsibility, It's like everything. Of course, I'm not here to lecture you about whether you should be pro or non-pro. But pretty much just like the story says, is her choice. It's not a right, it's not a wrong decision. It's a choice. So there you go. I've heard stories from both sides. Equally, both are as tragic or both are satisfying for the person. That's just how it is, you know? Because at the end of the day, it's... How should I put this? Because everyone can always say, well, if I saw the baby, I would get rid of it or I would keep it. But with keeping the baby, it's a responsibility that will last for the next 18 years. And with getting rid of the baby, there are a lot of horror stories that you kind of hear with it and non-horror stories with it. But the horror stories do outweigh the non-horror stories because a lot of the times it has to do with the fact that the mother's body can't handle it. And it mentally, for some, it is mentally scarring. All that type of stuff. The manga is about teen pregnancy. The topic's gonna come up pretty much. It's always a thing. It's always a thing. I know. I'm lecturing you all. But I think it's an interesting discussion. It's always an interesting discussion. Mostly just because I've always been interested. Not really always been interested, but whenever the topic does come up, I always hear really interesting takes on the matter. So I always try and think about all the outcomes when it comes to topics like pregnancy. Because it's never just keep the baby or get rid of the baby. It's about keeping the baby and is it worth it it's always keep or get rid of the baby and the mother's mental health with it. Because regardless, the mother's health is always going to be on the line. You know what I mean? And so pretty much, Sachi on the way into the house did a little oopsie because she dropped the ultrasound picture at the front of Takara's doorstep. And guess who came home early? There's a call-in show. There's a call-in show on the line that I like to listen about. The topic. To be honest, that actually makes sense. Like I said, it's a really nuanced discussion, and that's what I really like that this story did. It's nuanced. Because, again, at the end of the day, the girl does have to go through the emotional, mental toll of everything. And again, it's not a right or a wrong decision, and you won't know if it is or is not until you get older, you know? And I like that this story actually genuinely tackles that. And so Sachi, Takura's mom, unfortunately, looks like the speed up of telling the parents process is, it's here now. Because, originally, I just had the picture focusing on the mom's face, but I thought the full panel was enough. I thought the full page was enough. I thought the panel would have been enough. Nah, the full page. You know? You got that Asian mom anger. So, Takura's mom found out in the worst way possible. You know, would you want to stumble upon a face like this is all I'm saying? So Takura's mom ends up finding out, and she pretty much drags Takura by the feet. And when I mean drag by the feet, I don't mean he's slow. I mean he literally pulls him by the shoulder, the collar, and everything. Makes her son bow down on his knees and apologize. Now the thing is, I think the good thing was that Sachi came in and was like, no. Both of us, it takes two to tango. I'm just as responsible. However, the mom brings up a really good point in that it's usually the women that have to suffer for what the men did, because a lot of the times there are a lot of men who do abandon the situation when it's convenient for them. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it's a thing that happens. It's an unfortunate thing. So, when this gets out, Takura's mom is like, hey, so you're planning on getting rid of the baby, right? And Takura's like, what are you talking about? We haven't made a decision yet. We thought you would help us make this really important choice. And she's like, what choice are you talking about? It's called You're Getting Rid of the Baby. And that's the final answer. That look in her eye. Yeah. Originally it was just this panel, but again, the full panel. The full page, bro. The full page. And so she's like, you're getting rid of the baby. I will pay for the money for the abortion. I will do everything. And the thing was, originally, I thought I would hate this mom. I thought I would hate her character a lot. I thought I would really hate her character. However, as we continue reading the series, that is actually very far from it. Oh yeah, way too often some dude will get a woman pregnant and then blame her for example, being drunk and opening her legs. You know, castration should be a law, but if I continue saying what I want to say, I'll get banned. So, pretty much Takura's mom is like, we're gonna go down to your house, Sachi, and we're going to tell your mom that you're pregnant. Yep. So she basically is like, Takura, get in the car. Sachi, get in the front seat. Actually, no. Sachi, just get in the car. Takura, get in the car. We're going to Sachi's house, telling her mom that she's pregnant. And while they're driving, they actually almost hit a cat. Because cat symbolism. Cat symbolism. But not just any cat symbolism. Because Sachi, through that cat symbolism, realizes she needs to take responsibility and own up to the mistake because she's not having the choice to tell her mom herself. If she lets the Takura's mom be the reason why told her the truth, what is it? Basically, if Takura's mom is the reason why Sachi told her mom the truth, it would be bad because it would look like Sachi's mom was not trustworthy enough to be told this information. So Sachi ends up buck wilding out of the car and running away to her mom, and she's going to tell her in person. And hold up real quick. I am back. I had to step out a little bit. Someone was trying to get into stuff. And not on my watch. So yes, Sachi's mom. So like fun fact, I was actually kind of debating on the panels that I would use for the chapter representative thumbnails because a lot of them are really well drawn. I've already commented on the art in the beginning, but a lot of these are so well drawn that it was kind of hard to pick and choose which specific ones. And I want to contrast Takura's mom with Sachi's mom because I felt like it was right for this chapter. And the thing that I really liked about Takura and Sachi's mom, which we're going to see in a minute, I like how they are more nuanced versions of what is being talked about, because with Sachi's mom, we end up realizing as she's confessing to her mom that her mom is upset, very, very upset, but she also realizes the seriousness of the situation, and she's like, listen, I love you, you're my daughter, and guess what? This is just a decision between you and Takura. And that's exactly what that's exactly just what she is. She's crying, but she realizes that it's not about her, it's about Sachi. And it really contrasts the mom and Sachi in the beginning because you think it's just black and white. Because it's lines like, well, it's the woman that usually has to suffer that really breaks down like Takura's mom. Because you think, oh, she's just a hard mom and she's just doing it to save face. You're gonna get an abortion, right? Because Takura, I actually failed to mention this earlier. Takura isn't just like Sachi's boyfriend. He has college on the line. He's getting asked for universities. And again, this story is mostly focused on Sachi, but it's very clear that he has a future. Just like every other person that's in this situation. There's always a future on the line, you know? And so she tells her mom, and her mom is sad, but at the same time, she goes to answer the door because she knows this requires wisdom in the situation instead of immediately getting angry. And she doesn't get angry, and that's the best part. And so, moving on to chapter 8, body temperature. We get like kind of like a short flashback to before she answered the door for Takura and his mom, because they do arrive. But shortly before, Sachi tells her, and then Sachi tells them Takura and his mom are coming over. And she's like, all right, everyone's got to straighten up. Everybody's got to clean up. You can't just sit there with a dumb expression on your face, because she ended up knocking some hot cocoa earlier, and she's like, Sachi, you take a bath, you're all sticky, you know, being a mom. And Sachi just keeps replaying the memory that happened that night, which, you know, was only a couple hours ago, to be thinking that because, you know, she's young, she doesn't have the wisdom yet for herself, and it's like, I guess my mom wants nothing to do with me because she said it's my choice. And of course, in a fit of like destruction and just rage and just not understanding the situation and so many hormones and so much feelings and all of it, she's just like destroying everything. And I really liked this destruction. This like image just has not left my mind since I picked up the chapter. I like the fact that this is like one panel of like, it's not like, oh, she's like what is it? How do I explain this? It's not like a panel of she goes to her room and then it immediately cuts to her being a mess. No, you see her throwing stuff. You see her pulling down her curtains. She almost breaks her table, but like has a moment of realization and like sets the table down and like uses that as like just, she is just utterly confused by her mom because she thinks her mom doesn't love her anymore. Despite her mom showing nothing but a smile. She's sad that Takura's mom is acting the way she is. It's just a really confusing situation for her. And and pretty much throughout all this, she still has the opinion. She's not sure if she wants the abortion or not. And I think this is a really good thing, because even though this story could have been, oh, I'm gonna keep the baby, it like really just shows she's like, I want to keep the baby and I don't want to have an abortion, but I do not have the confidence that I will take care of this baby correctly. And that's a really real thing. It's a real thing that I really like that this chapter did. Because one mom wants one thing and another mom wants another thing. And it's just confusing for everybody. Just confusing for everybody in general. And so, moving on. Earlier in the chapter, if you guys know, when I told you that Takura had written down all the notes, he actually gave Sachi his notebook full of all the pregnancy facts and information, which she actually threw and got water on by accident, because of course. And she actually thinks about that special adoption thing. She thinks about that special adoption thing, and was like, even though she could technically have the baby and just give it away for adoption, it's the fact that she's not taking responsibility, which is really the big thing about this series, and it's responsibility. Because like we said earlier, it's not just, oh, get rid of the baby, or oh, I'm gonna keep the baby. It's responsibility of just having the baby in general, conceiving the baby in general. It's a confusing thing, you know? And I really like that. It's just, for Sachi, continuously, it's 15 milliliters. That's how small the baby is, and yet it means so much to her to even change her decision if she wants to abort or if she wants to keep the baby or not. And so she feels that she's selfish, and she says to herself, all right, I need to get out of here and clear my head. And so she looks at her mom, which I think is a really nice touch. She doesn't just go out. She looks at her mom, and she goes out. Oh, what is it? If I can repeat the panels. Actually, hold up. Okay, yes, she does go out. Okay, the mom was just going around. Okay, so what is it? I think the really sweet thing, what I'm thinking about, because I end up confusing the scene, she does end up kind of opening the door and going out, and it has like a really good art. This is why I say the expressions in this manga are really good and subtle, because you can tell she's tired. Sachi is really tired with the situation. But really, also, it's the fact that despite the fact that Sachi destroyed everything around her, her mom came in, saw the destruction, and she didn't be like, Sachi, wake up and clean up this mess, or Sachi, do all this, that, and the other. She recognized this is a really hard thing for Sachi, and just puts a blanket on her and lets her sleep. Because this is a big thing. It's a really big thing, you know? It's a really big thing. And so Sachi, you know, seeing that everything is, you know, kind of crazy, goes out and gets some fresh air, and she ends up going to the neighborhood cat. And the thing is, this panel is specifically kind of hinted at throughout the entirety of the story of Sachi remembering the neighborhood cats. Like I said, cat symbolism. You gotta love your cat symbolism. You gotta love your cat symbolism in this type of story. And she ends up going to Hajime, who has been frequently shown briefly in panels up to this point, who's another neighborhood cat, just like Nora in near the beginning of the story. And this is also another reason why she was thinking about special adoption, because again, like a cat, a child you can't just give away to somebody. You gotta find someone who will, again, take responsibility. And it's a hard thing. It's a very hard thing. And instead of thinking about that, for a moment she just sits with the neighbor and the cat, Hajime, and just relaxes for the first time in a while. And I really like that. It's a very beautiful panel of just Sachi hugging the cat. It's not like all of her worries are going away, but in this moment, it's really, really good. It's a really, really good panel, and I really, really like it. And that was chapter 8. So, what ended up happening is this is chapter 9, Collusion. Now here's the thing. The talk. You're probably wondering what talk. So I kind of forgot to mention this. A couple of chapters when Sachi's mom went to greet Takura's mom at the door, Takura's mom is like, hey, I'm sorry, my stupid son got your daughter pregnant. What am I gonna do? And Sachi's mom is like, all right, we gotta use wisdom in this situation. We are going to talk 2 days from now so that we can all settle our minds, gather our thoughts, and have a nice time. Huh? 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 Hold up. Segs. Sega. Hello, Sonic. I don't know why you're commenting like didn't go through. What? I didn't what is it? Sonic's comment went through and Sonic's comment went through on screen but not on restream. And so I was like, wait, what? And so basically she's like, hey, let's calm down, let's come back 2 days from now and let's like do this right. Have a proper talk with it. And so that actually didn't last, because what happened was that Sachi's brother is like, hey, yo, the pregnancy was real. Everyone's gonna talk now. And if you thought I hated Sachi's brother earlier when he just drove them to the hospital with no consideration for anyone's feelings whatsoever, Sachi ends up waking up with her cat, Hajime, because the neighbor, when she went to visit the neighbor was like, hey, go sleep, and you can leave at any time. And so she ends up getting a call from her mom and was like, where are you? The talk has been moved today. The talk is now happening a day from now, as in the next hour. Right now. Go home. And she ends up finding Sachi and is like, girl, I thought you ran away from home. Oh my gosh. And so nah, Sachi's mom again is like, hey, my daughter's here. Now let's come in and have a talk. And I thought this panel was really good to use because it's a good contrast between the moms, Sachi and Takura, and I hate her brother. How do I even put this? So, pretty much what's now happening is, I'm gonna call them T-Mom and S-Mom. T-Mom, Takura's mom, is on the side that should be abort. Not just because Sachi is the girl in the situation and responsibility and she's trying to be forceful, but because Sachi is too young. She has no responsibility, she has no sense of responsibility, and she does not know what to do. And so as a parent, the parent should step in and make the decision for her, since this is a hard decision, is what Takura's mom is saying, T-Mom. Sachi's mom, S-Mom, is basically saying, listen, as much as I would understand that, as a parent, we should also let them have their own responsibility. Take responsibility. You know what I mean? Take responsibility and let them decide if they want to keep or not keep the baby. This is not a decision that should be rushed. And so it's a back and forth between two really very real things. This is one of the reasons why I love both the moms in this situation, because they both have a point. They both have a real serious point. It's not keep the baby just because we want to keep it. We want to keep it because you got to be responsible. But it's not abort the baby just to abort the baby. It's abort the baby because they're too young. They don't have responsibility. They don't know what it's like in the real world and stuff like that. And the brother is standing in for both their dads so that they can regulate the situation. And I think the moms are handling it very well, and they're written so well. They're written with nuance. It takes a whole village to raise kids, not just two parents. In the case that the kid is lucky enough to have two parents that can stay together, pretty much. Exactly. It's a very nuanced thing, and I like the fact that it's treated like that. It's really good. That being said, While the parents in this situation are, having a good talk or good rational talk. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm sitting through this guy. I do not like the brother. I mean it. I really don't like the brother. He starts stuff for no reason, and this chapter is why. Because immediately after, and as you can see, I have a whole paragraph bullet point dedicated to I hate Sachi's brother, I hate Sachi's brother, I hate Sachi's brother, I hate Sachi's brother. Because literally as the two mature parents in this situation are talking, Takara then tries to open their mouth, and it's like, what is it? Takara tries to open his mouth and is like, hey, was it bad? Uncle seems like the kind of character that knows he's a bit character in a manga and wants to steal the spotlight. Oh, we'll get to that in a moment. So pretty much Takara is like, tries to talk in the situation, and Sachi's brother interrupts him quietly a little bit and is like, hey, how dare you guys trick me when I drove you to the hospital? And so Sachi and Takara are like, we didn't trick you, we just didn't know, we thought her period was there, and we didn't really know at the time that she really was pregnant. So then, gotta read these panels again for the third time. As a result, the Sachi's brother tries to say sorry, and so Takara tries to say sorry to Sachi's brother. So then Sachi's brother decides to grab Takara by the collar and proceed to be like, never talk to my sister again, and he tries to basically beat up Takara, but Sachi holds him back and is like, stop doing that, that's a stupid thing. And her mom is also saying, stop trying to fight this boy, you're literally in college. And then Takara gets slapped by her brother. I don't like the brother if it really isn't that obvious, because he's, unlike every other character in the story, he's the one-dimensional character. And I don't like him because he's mean. I'm not saying that he isn't not right in the situation. Technically, he's still also a child because he's not the mature adult, neither has a girlfriend or is married. But I don't like him. I just don't like him. He is like the worst character right now, and maybe he matures later, but I also don't like him currently, and that's not gonna change because he causes chaos when there was a real genuine dialogue going. It would be one thing because Takara's just saying, I'm sorry, because he's an idiot kid too. And he's like, well, my sister wouldn't be pregnant because of you. And it's like, okay, so what is beating him up going to do? Is that gonna undo the pregnancy? Jeez. So pretty much, it ends up going into chaos, and Takara's mom ends up panicking, and Sachi's mom ends up getting flustered. And Sachi, pretty much throughout all the chaos, is like, listen, I have the final decision. And this is my decision. I don't want to abort the baby. I'm keeping the baby because you all are fighting over me, so let it be my decision. I see, yeah. And so, we're now at chapter 10. Pretty much all of it's settled down. Sachi reiterates that she wants to keep the baby. But because Sachi has now said that she wants to keep the baby, Takara's mom is like, alright, you want to keep the baby? Takara, let's go. And Takara is like, well, I don't want to go, I want to stay with Sachi. And Takara's mom is like, alright, you want to stay with Sachi? You're gonna have the stay with Sachi consequences. And she just leaves. And Takara was really willing to stay for Sachi, but Sachi is like, listen, And this is one of the real things that I really like about this manga. She's like, listen, as much as we are together, your mom is just as hurt as my mom. She seriously disowned her own son over this? What a control freak. No, there's a reason for this. There's actually a reason for this. And unfortunately, it's not in this chapter. And it's like a really... This is why I say there's a lot of nuance in it. And it's like explaining, it's like there's wisdom with this. It's like wisdom and mistakes and all that type of stuff. And she's like... He goes after his mom, and Sachi's brother and her mom comfort Sachi. She loses feelings in her legs and she falls down. I hate Sachi's brother because he keeps being like, Sachi, you're just stupid a little bit. You're just not thinking clearly a little bit. Girl, you gotta abort the baby. And the mom is like, shut up, you little stupid child, brother boy. Listen, there is no right or wrong answer to this. You will find out if you think it is when you are way older and understand the world more clearly, but there's no right or wrong way about this. And Sachi, it's okay. And she almost misunderstood her mom again, but she realized she's taking her mom's words a little too literally. And she's realizing that everyone in this situation genuinely cares. It's just that this is such a hard thing to go through because it is so nuanced and not just get rid of the baby, keep the baby. And so then we go down to the final chapter. Pretty much throughout all of this, what I have not said up to this point is all of this took place over a break, over a school break. So I think 2 weeks maybe. That's usually like the break seasons for like Japanese high schools, middle schools, whatever. And Sachi pretty much, after everything goes down, she's like, oh yeah, I have finals. I got finals. Did you know that finals to get up to Tokyo University are coming up next? Yeah, she realizes, looks like I still gotta take my finals even though I'm pregnant. And so she ends up going back to school, and she's like, hey, hi everybody, I know I've been gone and I haven't been communicative, but I'm glad. And so her friend is like, you alright, Sachi? You don't look a little good. And Sachi, obviously it's one thing to bring it to your parents, she can't bring it up to her friends. It's a really tough thing. And so pretty much, now this is the one thing I actually will agree with you on cumulative. Pregnancy finals are in the room next over. Pretty much, they have until finals for the baby to be due. I think, if I remember correct, she wants to keep the baby, and it's a week before or after the abortion timing is about to start. But pretty much Takura ends up meeting her by the gate, and he's kind of roughed up a little bit. He's roughed up a little bit because he has confirmed, this is the one thing I will agree with you with on cumulative, because the chapters after this kind of do explain, even though it's not satisfying, even though it's like, again, there's nuance to the situation. Takura is homeless. Sachi tried to call him, but his phone plan was cut off. She's pretty much completely cut him off now. So Takura now has to go find a job. But the thing is that he says specifically to Sachi, I don't regret what I did. I don't regret that I stayed with you instead of giving up you and fulfilling my dreams. And I think the one thing I really like about this end of the chapter is that it isn't supposed to be a happy moment, even though it looks like it is. It's Sachi's final words in this chapter that are really good, and it is the fact that not everyone's is happy in this situation. Her brother is upset. Her mom is deeply hurt. His mom is like, I didn't want my idiot son to do idiot son things, and she's hurt deeply as well. It's chaos because she did not want to abort the baby, and it's chaos because she got pregnant in the first place. But yeah, with that, that's the final chapter of chapter 10. That's not the final chapter. That is all 10, the first 10 chapters of My Girlfriend's Child. Despite it being My Girlfriend's Child, it is not about the guy's perspective. It's about Sachi, which is what I expected. I kind of expected the story to be about from his perspective, since usually it is from the girl's perspective. But I do like it. I still liked it regardless. I still liked it regardless. How about you guys? How about you? It is hot in here. And I have water. But how do you guys like it? How do you guys like it so far? What is it? I can actually, we can actually head back to 1.0 room. 1.0, 2.0. I mean, 1.5. But yes, that's pretty much, yeah, no, that's pretty much the first 10 chapters of My Girlfriend's Child. There's still a couple more chapters left. And that would be chapter 11 and chapter 12, which both of them are divided by 2. Lying saying there's 23 chapters and it's literally just 2 chapters divided a piece. But yes. I was expecting it to be a story that promoted it like, oh, both sets of parents help take care of the couple and they get along great. Moral of the story is go make babies, Mima-san. Oh my gosh, no, what is it? I kind of thought it was supposed to be like a sad melodramatic, and there's like drama here, but what I thought was gonna happen was I thought it was gonna be melodramatic. I was like, what is it? If you guys have read, so there's the artist of Oshinoko. I thought it would be more of a Scum's Wish type situation where it's over dramatic, everyone's sad, there's so many tiny bits of happiness, wah, 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 blah, blah, blah. But it's like a really serious, nuanced, good take on it, and I really like it. I neither liked romance, nor do I hate it. I prefer Junji horror. Oh, hi, Grasshopper. It's been a while. Curious. What? Curious about what? To be honest, it's not even really that much of a romance. It's just, I would say this is more of like a cautionary tale. The feelings, the things that you will have. Like, I feel like this is something, if you were to give it to a girl, you could genuinely educate someone about this is what the girl goes through. This is the emotions you might go through if you're conflicted about having a baby at such a young age. And I really like it. I really like the fact that it takes that nuanced approach instead of just being, well, the guy was in the wrong because he was the one who stuck his thing in her, and the girl was an idiot because she opened her legs to him. And they're both in this, they both know they messed up. The parents are nuanced. There's idiot one-dimensional characters, but at the same time, you also understand them as well. It's a really good series. It's a really good series so far, and I want to continue reading this. Like I said, you can read the first 20 chapters. Like I said, it's really 12 chapters because the last other chapters are literally divided in 2. Up to chapter 12. What is it? From chapters what to what? From chapters 5 to 12, they're divided in 2 to pretend they're 20 chapters apiece so they can wring money out of you. But, yeah, that's My Girlfriend's Child, and I really liked it. I wasn't sure if the manga reading would go well, because last time, like I said, it was all over the place and super scattered, and I liked how I did this a lot better because it was more centralized focused and I was able to take notes, and I really liked how this came out. Everyone's an idiot. Some are just more mature, but less idiots, but idiots nonetheless. Pretty much. There's like wisdom in this, like there's maturity, there's wisdom in the situation. Like, I like the fact that the mom, even though, like Sachi's mom, she's like, it's a decision for Takura and Sachi, and it's like you see the flaws with it, but you still understand that she's like, yeah, it's their choice. And it looks like, quote unquote, Sachi's mom won. Nobody wins in this situation. It's just that Sachi was like, I want to keep the baby. In the end end of the day, it's all Sachi's decision. And the story treats it that way. And I like that it treats it that way. I like this story. I like how it was genuinely nuanced about something really serious. And I like how, even though, like, not everyone's, like, super well written. I think Takara, there's a reason why I keep referring to him as a Boy Scout. Because, let's be real here, he's good Boy Scout, someone who's super supportive of having a kid, who's super gung-ho, who's planned and everything, little dog, golden retriever boy. But, you know, listen, the golden retriever trope works. I love me a little golden retriever type character. You know what I mean? It's a good series. It's a really good series. And to be honest, I actually want to continue reading the series. I'm not sure if we'll continue this story specifically moving forward. However, we will return to it. So like, say I do a manga reading and I come back with a different story, and I might interchange it with My Girlfriend's Child, because the series is complete. The series is complete, so we can do that. We can do that. Whew. But that, my friends, that was it. That was My Girlfriend's Child. That was the first, well, technically official first manga reading. I hope you guys loved it. I hope you guys liked the manga room and that it was atmospheric and nice. I tried to do a sort of purplish type of feeling for it, plush palace type thing. And I'm just, I like how it came out. I already like the story. That's right, I knew it. My plan worked. Not gonna lie, my plan was like, I'm gonna do this anyway to see if Mirai would like the story anyway. Saying you're hardened to shonen. I'm gonna be a shonen bro for life until you get your hands on a good shoujo. And I know this because I was a shonen girl and I got my hands on a good shoujo too. But I think the music could be, you know, more fitting. Oh! I wasn't sure if I wanted to change the music because I felt like this was kind of okay, if I can be real with you. Since the music was more kind of like, it was a breakdown of the story, you know? I was thinking, like, since it was like a breakdown of the story, I wasn't sure if the music was okay. But like, I don't mind changing the music. If you guys like have any instrumentals, got a nice little setup for the manga room. Yes. And more stuff, of course, will be added over time. I hope, like little assets and stuff like that over time. But Kendra, I'm mostly a rom-com type of dude. You never told me that. I didn't know that. To be honest, like I said, one of the reasons why I started the manga room is not only because I want to read more manga, because I've been like slowing down I'm trying to pick back up on a lot of things, because for a long time I slowly would drop things because I felt like I couldn't enjoy them anymore. Not because of any outside influence, though those are kind of one of the reasons why, but I really genuinely wanted to start doing that, but also because I keep talking about how I want more shoujos to receive love, and you can't say that if you're never giving shoujos a chance in the first place and not reading them for more people to see. You know what I mean? Everyone's doing a manga book club and talking about Dragon Ball and all this stuff, but can we just have a space to just talk about shoujo, josei, some really popular, obscure seinen, really? I want to talk more about all my favorite mangas, just and introduce you guys to stuff. You know, I need to fill that void in my heart with something else, or else I would be really sad. I was gonna recommend Land of the Lustrous, and that would have been really stupid. I heard Honey Lemon Soda's pretty good. Maybe next week I'm not sure how the schedule will be with the manga rooms, but maybe we can read maybe next time we can read Honey Lemon Soda. I wouldn't mind it. I've been thinking about it. It's either Honey Lemon Soda or that other manga that I've been hearing about that is actually pretty kind of like this, where it's nuanced and not like a self-insert type of shoujo. Stream idea. What? Also, guys, like, if you can, like, recommend me music you would like to have for the manga room, because I would like to do that. Like, have specific music for the manga room. I might do that in the future. Land of the Lustrous went on not so lustrous after some time. Man, bro, you had to be there. Listen, it had one of the better endings of 2024 and fitting to the series themes too. You could prepare some kind of manga club stream in which everyone prepares a little presentation on manga they like this stream or shorter. Pretty much, you know what? I wouldn't mind that. What is it? Maybe maybe every maybe once, maybe twice or 3 times a year. Cause I still want to do the book club thing, because if I'm not careful, we'll do the karaoke thing, but kind of the karaoke thing, where we did general karaoke where everyone could do karaoke. Everyone has 5 minutes a piece to pitch why they want to read a specific type of manga and stuff kind of like that, you know? I want to say maybe twice or 3 times a year, mostly just to keep it consistent and so that we can plan it out properly without having too much, because last thing we want is, I don't know, someone bringing in sex with Hitler type shenanigans or something. You think that's actually a made-up name when you also don't realize that's actually a Steam game series. Karaoke. I've actually been improving pretty much. I finally started singing through my diaphragm instead of just my throat. So I feel like I'm starting to sing a lot better these days. So hopefully I get to do stuff in the future. So that's a thing. But again, I hope you guys like the manga. We actually will be doing Land of the Lustrous one of these days, but not now. Steam game series? Oh, cumulative, you don't know about sex with Hitler? Yeah, no, it's literally just on Steam. Please keep in mind, some games get censored out for worse. Quote unquote worse, and by worse I mean they showed nip slip. That's a series, that's a thing. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it. I enjoyed it, and yeah. Thank you all for, this was just fun. I was yapping the whole time. And so let's see who we shall raid to end off tonight. We shall meet up again next week with a little bit of me side. We will be playing me side until I get the next big game series started. I got a little doodling to do for the series thumbnail before we get started completely. Me side, yes, we're doing me side. You guys are like, what me side? Wait, Ken, what? What? We got Momo Monet, Armchair. Oh, Armchair's talking about Bond Life. That's what I forgot. But you got. Have you been reading Madden no Ichi? I've never heard of it before. Madden no Ichi. I was thinking maybe we could do Maria no Danzai. No Ichi. Ichi. Oh, this one! It got beat up by Drama Queen too. I've been hearing about this one. Is it I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Can I be real with you? I have no hard opinions on Madden no Ichi one way or another. I have no hard feelings on it one way or another. Hey, Witch Boy. I changed tabs to read something and heard Madden no Ichi and there's an EA football manga. No, for real. I literally immediately also thought it was Madden football too. Bro, this is what happens. TikTok will be closing on January 19th. Oh yeah, that's right. You guys been hearing about the TikTok ban and stuff like that? Also, we're gonna be rating Momo Monet. You guys been hearing about the TikTok ban? I'm like just trying to shill out as many videos as I can by this point. We got 9 days left, everybody. Oops. I like Maria no Danzai. No, for real. I like it too. I like the fact that it's like... I like the fact that that one also has its own type of nuance to it. You know what I mean? It has its own nuance to it. And I feel like it's underappreciated in Maria. It's underappreciated in Maria because like people see Maria and it's probably like... Because like revenge stories are so poorly written nowadays. I'm over my depressive manga arc. No, that makes sense. Too much pain. You see that right there? That's what happens when you read too much shonen broness. Shonen broness. Shones broness. Jonas Brothers broness. Oh my gosh. Listen, I've already told you guys about one of the worst mangas I've read. Gosh, grimdark for the sake of being grimdark and revenge manga. Here's the thing. There's just so many bad revenge manga out there that Maria no Danzai feels like a breath of fresh air, and we're literally entering an arc where it looks like Maria has to deal with a quote-unquote terrorist attack. And that says a lot because there's an actual manga that deals with a real terrorist attack, and it's a revenge manga, something about a pumpkin girl. It's so stupid. And then there's the cannibal general. Need I say more? The cannibal general, I say. Gosh. But, you know how it goes. Thank you all for tuning into tonight's stream. Let's see who we shall rate on Twitch side also. Psych 3, Super Kim VT. Freezing Friday. Ooh, laciness. She's just chatting. For the moment, it's mostly reading Otome Isekai or something like that. Man, I should probably get into Otome Isekai again. It's been so long. It felt like it got polluted by like the same thing over and over again. Thanks for putting on a show as always. It's popular now. Thank you. Yeah, the thing with Otome Isekai is that there's so, like, all the good ones are Korean. Can I be real with you? I gotta be honest. All the good ones are Korean, and even then, all the good Korean ones are on tap ass. Because we're only just now getting an adaptation of something prisness. Not gonna deny it. Bro, that wasn't anything to deny. That's actually a fact. Literally, Webtoons is full of all the copycats of all the stuff that Tapas actually has. There's a reason why I'm waiting for Villains Are Destined to Die. But even then, I'm kind of sad that Villains Are Destined to Die might get adapted because the art downgrade is so severe. The thing about manhwa is that they're so detailed that when they do get an anime adaptation, it's so disappointing. It's so disappointing. Like, it's not like Baccarina, where the art style of the manga matches the art style of the anime, so it's not like a big jump. But, oh my gosh. The disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined when I see manga that look not as manhwa that are when I see anime that are not as good as some of the best manhwa out there. I think the only ones to compete with each other is Reliana and the Duke's Mansion. Crippling art downgrade. You want to see a crippling art downgrade? Dr. Elise. I want you to look up the Dr. Elise manhwa and the Dr. Elise anime. It is painful to look at. It was so painful to look at, I didn't even recognize it was the same series. And the art for Dr. Elise is beautiful. I'm pulling it up on stream. So here's the Dr. Elise manhwa. I'm pulling up all the covers. Because I know what they were trying to do. They're trying to make it look more like the manhwa, the light novel cover, the novel cover. You kind of peaked with the, you peaked with the manhwa art style. Ooh, forgot about that one. Yeah, it looks bad. It's not like bad, but like your day will be ruined. So here's the art for Dr. Elise. So this right here, this one in the bottom corner, this is the novel, but the other 5 right here are the ones for the manhwa, the comic series. This is the anime. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. It's not even the same picture. It's not even the same picture. What are those? I wanted to cry. Look what they did to our girl, but Queen, don't cry. Not the Keys sisters. Bro, it was so bad. It was so bad. It actually made me sad. It like actually made me sad. I was like, this is I'm like, man, I literally went to the Otome Isekai subreddit and was like, man, wouldn't it be cool if Dr. Elise got an anime? And they're like, yeah, it like came out last year. And I'm like, what do you mean it came out last year? I would have known if Dr. Elise came out last year, especially with that art style, sees the anime art style. That was a choice. They gave her geometrical neck treatment. Oh my gosh, and it's worse. Literally everyone in Dr. Elise got a downgrade. The prince got a downgrade. Elise got a downgrade. I'm pretty sure there's like a black girl in here too, if I remember correctly. She got a downgrade. Literally everyone got a downgrade in Dr. Elise. Literally everyone got a downgrade from the manhwa art style. And it's like, man, I get it. But couldn't you have given her the Oshinoko treatment, my boys? Please. This is one of the times where I was like, this should have gotten Oshinoko treatment. Raeliana and the Duke's Mansion was done more justice than this. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. It was so bad. Regarding manhwa room music, maybe you'll like Otome by Suzume-tune. If not, Sharo is my go-to. Let me see. Let me screenshot that. It's gotta be like an instrumental and specifically one that does not get me copyright striked. But I can't, but I'll look into it. I'll also look into more off stream because I would like more fitting music for it too as well. Something neutral that can fit for any tome no matter what. That's what I'm gonna probably look into. Something that fits the vibe no matter what. It's impossible, but it's not impossible. Alright, what is it? Alright, let's look for someone on Twitch to raid. We've got Momo Monet. And you know what? Why not? This girl, her name is Laciness, is just kind of doing stuff. Wait. Never mind, she's a League player. I should have known. Momo. She looks like she's doing something cool. Let's raid her. Yeah. Hanami Momo. And I shall see you all next week with some me side and who knows what else that I'll do. I shall see you all and next time. Read your mangas, everybody. For Kendrillion shall be out.